Hi everyone, welcome to the Rustic Remedy Weight Loss Without Dieting 12-week group weight loss program. This week we're going to start with some pre-program work. So first, let me introduce myself. Hi there, I'm Dion, the founder of the RusticDietitian.com and integrative dietitian, and I will be your guide through this program. I am so excited to be going on this journey with you. I hope you are too. It really will be a life-changing experience. This is the culmination of 15 years of my education and experience working with people just like you. And I truly believe that if you are ready to commit to the next 12 weeks, that you're going to see transformative changes, not just with weight, that'll be a happy side benefit, but also in your health, in your energy, in your mood, in your sleep, in your overall well-being. So without further ado, we're going to get started. And the work I'm going to have you do this week, I know it's not officially the start of the program yet, but spending a little time laying the groundwork and getting some foundation in before the program starts is really going to help increase the success that you're going to have with this program. So I'm going to go ahead and switch to the next slide. And in so doing, I'm going to move myself up to the corner. So you can still see me, but I also want you to be able to see the content of the slide. So your first task this week is your program intake form. You should have all received a welcome email from me. And in that email, there was a link to take the program intake form. Please take some time this week to complete that and return it to me by submitting it. I'm going to use all the answers that you provide me to the questions I've asked to give you an individual assessment. I will then share some feedback and some personalized recommendations for you based on what I think you should be considering during the program so that you can get the most out of it. Okay, so it's going to be not only helpful for me to know who's in the group, but it's also going to be a great resource for you. And I hate to be a stickler here, but I am going to make this a non-negotiable piece of the program, which means you have to complete this before we officially start next weekend. Okay, so please do that first and foremost, and then we can move on to the second task. So our second task for this week is to join the Facebook group. I've already added those of you that I'm already friends with on Facebook, so you should get some kind of notification that you've been added to this group. Just a reminder that it is a private Facebook group. It's only for the people who are participating in the program for the next 3 months, okay? For those of you that I'm not friends with on Facebook, I sent an invitation to your email, so please join, please accept my invite. And what I want to really emphasize to you as well is to not just join the Facebook group, but please use the group. Share your successes, your challenges, your thoughts, ideas, questions. I mean, even photos of new foods you've tried. The more you use the group, the more you'll get out of it. Research shows that those of us who use supportive networks or groups of people while we're moving through weight loss programs do much better. We have more motivation, more accountability, and we see more success in our weight loss endeavors. So please take advantage of this added support and get on the Facebook group, okay? Then we can move on to our third task, which is to read the introduction of the book. So if you haven't already, now is the time to open up the book. Assuming you've all downloaded it, if you've run into any issues downloading it, please let me know. I'll be happy to send you another copy of the book. But we definitely want to start working our way through the book. So we're going to start with the introduction. It's really important that you read this piece before we move forward in the program. It sets the background, the foundation for why I structured the program the way that I did. I think it also really helps to explain why traditional ways of dieting will never work and why this program is different. So please take the time to read through that. And of course, if any questions or you need some clarifications to any part of that program, that piece of the book, please don't hesitate to reach out to me and I'd be happy to expand further on that if needed, okay? We've got a couple more tasks. So moving on to task 4, now it's time to assess our time. So here's where the rubber meets the road. In order for you to find success over the next 12 weeks, you're going to have to actually make time in your already busy schedule to do the assignments and the changes that we're going to talk about week by week. So the way I encourage you to try to do this is to make a time map for yourself. And I show you an example of mine there on the screen. I like to do mine in Excel. For me, that's easiest. I can move things around or rearrange blocks really easily. You can either choose to do it that way, or I also included a blank time map for you to play with in the book. You can make copies of that, just use pen and paper and kind of experiment. But here's how I suggest you approach the time map. Take it in stages. So first you want to block off the non-negotiable time. That's, the time that you're working or you have standing appointments or standing meetings, the time it takes you to get there and back. All of that time is basically non-negotiable. So that has to go in first, okay? Then secondly is where we start massaging the rest of the time. So I'm going to suggest that the 2 most important things I'd like you to block off next would be time for food and time for sleep. Okay, so you're going to block off what time do you need to go to bed so that you get enough sleep depending on what time you have to get up in the morning. And then you're also going to block off time for meals, time to prepare food, time to go shopping for food. You can look at mine just to kind of get an example to see how I fit that in during the week. But food and sleep is going to be next, okay? Then after that, the third thing is you're going to block off me time. And me time is essentially time that you can use to take care of yourself. And that might be to exercise, to meditate, to get a massage, to do something fun. It can be really anything you want it to be. The point is that you're actually setting aside time to take care of you. And this is intentional, that the time that we spend on ourselves needs to come before the time we spend with others. I always think of when you're on a plane and how the flight attendant, on every flight, they always tell you that, if the oxygen masks fall down, that you need to put yours on first before you can help any of the people around you. And I really think this applies to life, right? If we're not taking care of ourselves, if we're not keeping ourselves healthy and well cared for, then we're not going to have the energy or the time to take care of other people. So what I really hope to teach you over the next 12 weeks is learning how to put yourself first. And I think you'll be surprised that as you get better at that, which I'm not going to lie, it's not going to be easy for everybody. For me, even it's difficult as a working mom. I feel like you're always putting other people ahead of your own needs. So it's something that you're going to learn to do. But as you get better at it, I think you'll be surprised to see how much more energy you end up having to be able to then use on those that you love. So it's definitely a win-win for everyone. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to block off time with others. So the time that we have for our partners, our family, our friends, our social time, okay? And then we'll fit that into our time map as well. Now, one last thing I want to say about this is that your time map is going to evolve. So don't feel like you have to fit it all in, that it needs to be perfect right now. If your first go at it, you find that there isn't time for everything, don't despair. As we move through the program, you're going to learn to find ways to make room for the things that matter most. And I think by the end of the program, you will have a really well-working time map that's going to allow you to fit in what matters most and learning to weed out the pieces that should not be taking up so much time. So that brings us to our 5th and final task, which is tracking your progress. This is basically where we're going to get some baseline numbers and we're going to set some realistic goals for the program. I feel like this step is equally important to figuring out your time to devote to the program. I think that unfortunately human nature has us always looking forward, right? Always looking where we're going instead of taking time to reflect on how far we've come and what got us to this point. And this can be really important, particularly if you have a lot of weight to lose, which we're going to talk about setting goals in just a minute. But what I wanted to mention is that, based on what I said in the introduction, that we want to go slow and steady, right? We don't want to take this too quickly because we want to keep our metabolism intact and healthy, which means that even after the 12 weeks, you may still have quite a bit of weight to lose, which is fine, right? I think what's important is that you still feel motivated and encouraged to keep going forward. And the best way to do that is to track your progress so that you don't feel overwhelmed. You track what you've already accomplished, and that helps to keep you motivated and moving forward. So here's how we're going to do this. You're going to start by taking a photo. Okay, you're going to take a selfie or have a partner or a friend take a photo for you. Ideally, I think a full body length photo, not just the face, so that you can, and then maybe even wear some tight clothing so that you can really see the shape of your body. I want you to also get a starting weight this week, plus any other measurements that you might want to track. I have some listed on the tracker for ideas. You may choose to do some of those or none of those. It's totally up to you. You may want to add in some of your own tracking tools, like maybe even clothing size. So I'm going to let you decide, what other things beyond weight that you want to measure. But whatever you decide, go ahead and get those starting numbers on your tracking sheet. Then you want to figure out what your BMI is. So I have a picture here on the slide as well of the BMI chart. So you're gonna find your height and your weight, and I want you to see what your current BMI is. And as far as a healthy weight goal, what I'd like us to do is to just start moving down the BMI chart. The end goal might be 24. 24 is considered a healthy weight per height. So that might be a goal to shoot for. If that's far away, maybe your current BMI is 35, then we take it in 5 to 10% increments. We gradually inch our way down towards whatever the end goal is. And I also just want to add here too that the BMI is not a perfect tool. I think it helps give us a starting place, but it's not going to be appropriate for everyone. And if you are starting out with a BMI of, let's say, 35 or 45, then rather than making 24, BMI of 20 for the end goal, maybe a BMI of 39 or a BMI of 29 could be an end goal where you're just working your way down the chart. That is going to be a much healthier you, right, at your height than where you are now. So I want you to just basically know that not one size fits all here. And although it is tempting to see the pounds melt away quickly, again, going back to our introduction, slow and steady is going to be the healthiest way for you to lose weight. Also to keep your metabolism healthy so that the weight stays off and that you can finally get off this yo-yo roller coaster ride. Okay, so it's really important that you're realistic with your weight loss goals. Okay, so you figure out your BMI and you figured out some starting goals, an end goal, and then maybe like a 5 or 10% goal. So that can be our starting goal. Then I want you to check your height and weight, not your height, check your weight once a week, the same day, same time of day, ideally first thing in the morning, after you've gone to the bathroom, before you've eaten anything, without any clothes on, so we can try to be as accurate as possible. And then each week you're going to check it at that same time and record it on your tracker. Okay, I really discourage checking weight every day. Your weight changes so much day to day that it can be stressful and sometimes discouraging to see it bouncing around all the time, So once a week is good. It gives you a good average for the week and it helps you track your progress, okay? You're also going to do a monthly photo. So that means 3 times during this program, I want you to take another selfie, maybe even wear the same outfit. So that you can see not just how the numbers are changing, but then also how you visually are changing. And at the end of the program, at the 12 weeks, we will recheck all those other measurements. So whatever other measures you added that you want to see shift, at the end of the program, we'll recheck those numbers and see what's shifted, okay? Then that is it. So then we're going to go ahead and wrap up your tasks for this week. Okay, so just to summarize your assignments for this week, okay? So first, you're going to complete your intake form if you haven't already and submit that to me. Secondly, you're going to join the Facebook group and get on there and start using it, okay? Third, you're going to read through the introduction of the book. Fourth, you're going to work on your time map and trying to fit in space into your life for all these wonderfully healthy changes you're about to embark on. And then fifth, we're going to get your baseline numbers and set up some realistic goals for the program. Okay, and if you run into any trouble with that section, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to help you come up with some goals if you feel like you're struggling with that part. Okay, so let me know. And that's it for this week. I know it's quite a bit. Most weeks won't have this many assignments, but I feel like, again, this is a foundational week, and I really want to have you be as set up as possible to really get the most success out of this program. If you can't tell, I am super excited to be embarking on this journey with you. I really hope you are too. If you do have any questions, any concerns that come up throughout the program, please feel free to email me directly at support@therusticdietitian.com. I also provided a link for you to that email in the welcome email that I sent everyone. You can also post questions to me on Facebook. I will be on there a lot, so I'd be happy to answer your questions that way as well. Use Facebook, okay? You will get the most out of this program if you really take advantage of the support from the group, okay? So get onto Facebook at least once a day and check out what's going on there. And that's it. I will see you all next week for the official start of the program and your first week's assignments. And until then, have a wonderfully healthy week, and I look forward to seeing you back in the program next week. Take care. Bye.